With the main section of the outpost built in the previous episode, we now have a structure to build the terrain around. We will begin at the middle section of the diorama with 4 48 by 48 grey base plates. The outpost itself marks the center of the diorama, where a village will be built behind it and farmlands will be built in front of it. I made this section 14 bricks tall. The front side will gradually slope down to a lower elevation as the diorama is expanded in future episodes, since I'm aiming to create stair-step type crop fields at the front. As usual, the first thing to work on is the lowest layer, since we have to gradually build up the terrain. Here, the lowest part is the cliff face at the front. Since this is a drier environment, the primary colors are light bluish grey, tan and dark tan. I also wanted to add a bit of medium nougat highlight at the top edge of the cliff so that it won't look too bland. Firstly, we laid the foundations of the cliff, then proceeded to building the actual cliff face. Here I used dark tan rock panels with snot bricks attached as structure for the cliff and layered on wedge slopes and wedge plates. The tans concentrated on the lower elevations to mirror the medium nougat at the top. Tan is quite a bright and strong color, so too much of it will make the diorama look like a desert, which is not what I'm aiming for here. The aim is a dry but forested terrain similar to North Ithilien, which borders Mordor in Lord of the Rings, where Frodo and Sam first encountered the Oliphants. As you can see, there are irrigation channels dug into the ground to enable farming in this dry environment. The source is groundwater from a nearby mountain that this terrain is sloping up towards, which would be behind the village. Since this is not a naturally flowing source of water, I used trans dark brown to give it a murky and muddy look. I built the channels with 3 by 8 wedge plates so that they wouldn't be just long straight lines. Having these irrigation channels also creates extra obstacles for invaders approaching the outpost. Before I finish off all the terrain work, I needed to place the outpost so that I can complete all the contouring around the structure. For the crop fields, I wanted to create a variety of crops that can be grown in drier environments. The first field produces beans, the second field produces lentils, and the last 2 fields are for barley. As mentioned, there will be more fields coming in future episodes as the diorama is expanded. At the windswept northwestern frontier of the Crown Knight's kingdom stands the outpost known as Verdant's End, a name as true as stone, for beyond this place, nothing grows. Westward looms the scorched peaks of the Ashlands, a lifeless volcanic expanse where the wind carries whispers and shadows stir in the absence of light. Northward stretches the Dragon Kingdom, a land ever poised for conflict, its borders sharp with tension and iron. Dry and unforgiving, the land yields little. Yet tenacious forests root in the crags, while villagers use careful irrigation to draw crops from the dry soil. Verdant's End marks the threshold, not the kingdom's last defense, but its first gate, a sentinel outpost that watches both fire and fang, standing ever ready beneath the banner of the crown. I'd like to give a big shout out to our channel members supporting the creation of Scarellis, with a special thank you to Fennec, Brendan Bundyboy Davies, Karnosh, and Kaya Fried Rice 38, our 4 captains of the guards. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.